Parent Cafe Live. So we are on our second video for our 20 video series. Today we're going to be talking about I Love You rituals through the Conscious Discipline program, and there's a whole entire book on it. I highly recommend you guys read this. I'm going to cover very quickly what it all is, and there's a lot of different versions. But basically, an I love you ritual is something that helps your child transition into something that may be hard for them, so that they feel connection and love from you. So it creates authentic connection. It creates opportunity for optimal brain development for your child. When they have a safe haven, a place that they feel safe, their brain can further grow and develop. It's just how the hierarchy of needs works and our brains work. So this also improves cooperation through those difficult transitions, a child's willingness, some impulse control, and builds resiliency. So a lot of things that need to happen. So eye contact, which if I could talk to you guys face to face right now, I would love that. But we're going through video so I can hit as many of you as I can. So I'm going to keep trying to make eye contact with you. Gentle touches, presence, and playfulness. So I want you to think back to a time when you were a child and you remember something from a caring adult in your life. It could be a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, a teacher, a really positive memory you have from somebody that you care about. Can you tell me what you remember from that? Was there connection? Was there playfulness? Was there like gentle touch? So we're talking like an arm on the hand, an arm on the face, things like that. Was there songs involved? So for me, I have a memory of baking with my grandma, and she would always sing I love you a bushel and a peck and a hug around the neck. Or she would do the patty cake song when we rolled out dough. Like from when I was little and I actually played patty cake with her till I was an adult, she would do it as well. And it just was something she always did, and that's an I love you ritual. That's a ritual that she did between like her and her grandkids. And I have a lot of really great memories and connection built with that. So there's this thing called 9 meaningful minutes or 9 meaningful moments. So it's in addition to this connection. So you're having positive connection throughout 9 minutes of the day. So the first 3 minutes of waking, as soon as that first interaction is between you and your child. The next 3 minutes you have like upon returning to one another, so like after school or after work, and then the 3 minutes before bed. So you can do these I love you rituals in those moments, and they're going to look different based on maybe you need a different ritual for each of those. Maybe you're doing it because they're having a hard time, or maybe you want to prevent a hard time. And you can do this even as your kids get older, and the rituals might change. Or it could be like my grandma, who continued until I was an adult. And I never really felt silly. Like, I just loved it because it was just what I knew what to expect from her. So the element of connection is really useful, because then if there is some separation, say somebody gets deployed or even just away on business, a weekend can be very devastating for a child, especially when they're young and they've relied on their parents for so much. You would create this ritual, and hopefully you would have it created before there was separation, and you would create a visual of it, and then a copy would be for the child and a copy of the visual representation would be for the adult. And then the beauty of technology is we can do a FaceTime or, screen calls, video calls, and we can do those I love you rituals through a phone. When I showed you guys the different books and things that you could make to do a visual routine. This could be an I love you ritual, which is still documented visual routine to help through transitions. You can use these little journals to create your book, or you could just, use some construction paper, hole punch it, put your pictures on there, do some writing on there, and use string or anything to tie it shut. There's lots of ways to make your own little books. And I feel like as you're getting used to doing a visual routine, it doesn't hurt to have a copy yourself, or these I love you rituals. So they've made, through Conscious Discipline, they have these little deck of cards that can be attached to a string. And I think these are like $18, and they're really sturdy cards. But you'll see teachers that use Conscious Discipline have these because they'll create I love you rituals as well. So these are all just stories, hand stories with songs that we know from childhood. So they have Humpty Dumpty, Georgie Porgy, Peter Peter Pumpkin Eater, The Wonderful Woman Who Lived in a Shoe, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Little Miss Muffet, Here's the Bunny, Little Mouse, and there's a thing called a story hand. So you use your hand or your child's hand, and you use it and you trace it to tell the story, so you have that connection and touch. And this book has all of the stuff how to do it, but they have a lot of resources on their website that are free as well. I have these cool make and take things. So they have the printable like I love you ritual cards. So these are like a smaller version of it. I don't know if you guys can really see that. But they can make a choice. So there's Conscious Discipline is always about choices for your child. So then there's like this choice deck that you would laminate, and then you would laminate the ritual cards and then let them select that if they needed to. So that's a big thing in a classroom for them to have that. But then there's instructions on the back of the cards. So Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the queen's horses and all the king's men could put Humpty together again. So then there's like actions that go with this song. Just like when patty cake, there's the clapping and the hand touching. There's things you do here. I remember this song from, I think the show was called Magellan from Nickelodeon. And there's a song about Skinnamarink Dinky Dink, Skinnamarink Doo. And there's these little signs that go with it. And we do Itsy Bitsy Spider at our house. And I knew an old lady who swallowed a fly. So those are some that I've done without these, because you just it creates connection. So if you're already doing one, you don't have to recreate the wheel. It's just you didn't even know that you were creating an I love you ritual. So like with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you would hold your hands up and have your child place their hands next to yours, and you guys could go twinkle twinkle little star. What a wonderful child you are. You would bring the arms down to rest on each other's shoulders. With bright eyes, nice and round cheeks. Touch your child's eyes and cheeks. So there's just this interaction and connection. A lot of you have probably read books about like love languages. Well, children's love language is a lot of that connection and touch. That's kind of how we're wired as humans. And when we're little, we really crave all of that because our world's so unsure and we don't know so much. We need that grounding to our caregivers, the people that we look at as our protectors. So we kind of create like a little game. It's something that's fun. It is something for them to look forward to have that connection and like time, one-on-one time. And if we're transitioning into something hard, it reassures them that you're still there. If you're going to be away, you can still be there to do an I love you ritual, and you can do it through video. So you, if you're going to make a booklet because you're traveling or going to be away, you would need somebody to take pictures of you and your child doing your I love you ritual, so that they can visually see that you guys are able to touch at some point and interact together. So it makes it easier to rely on technology to do it, and they can still feel some of that connection because they'll have the memory of doing it with you. So like I said, the 4 key elements: eye contact, gentle touch, presence, and playfulness. So you really have to shut off the rest of the world and just be there. So 3 minutes isn't that long. 9 minutes a day is not that long. If we can do that and just kind of help regulate ourselves the rest of the time, it builds so much intention in our time with our kids that they feel it. They get that love and connection that they really need to thrive and grow. So I want to ask you guys a question. What is a song, a chart, or playful game you already know? So if you already have done an I love you ritual like these, you could continue and add pieces maybe that's not there. Or if you haven't done it, what's something that you like to sing? And if it's Baby Shark, I'm really sorry. But it's definitely one you could still do. But there's so many great songs. I love YouTube for these. So the Lori Berkner Band does some really great children's songs. But there's so many songs. You know, the ones that they've pulled from are ones that we grew up knowing, or our parents knew. They're just like those classics that don't go away. But maybe you have a poem or something silly that you remember that would be fun. So you're gonna, to create this ritual, to like really firm it up between you and your child, is first you're gonna sing and say it with your child. The second thing is you're gonna create motions to go with it, because you probably need a few more if you already didn't, or maybe you didn't have any. So make them kind of organic, things that make sense, and things that your child can do. Then the third thing is you're gonna practice singing it and saying it. Some of us don't sing. I'm a horrible singer. And doing the actions, the motions as you go through it. After that, then you could document it. So after you first go through those 3 steps, so the sing and say, create the motions, and practice sing and saying with the motions. So after you do that, I want you to ask yourself, did you notice a difference between the first and second sing and say? So on that third time when you added the motions, was there a big difference in that connection with your child? So instead of them just looking at awe with you, are they giggling? Is their eyes twinkling? You see them light up from within. And I think you'll notice that. So the final instructions for you guys is make a book of these I love you rituals at some point. That way, if you do leave, you have those on reserve. Have somebody help you take those pictures. Have your child help you make these books. So it's not just you making it. Get some little handprints on yours that you're gonna have. Every time I've traveled out of town, I've had to take pictures of my son. Like, I have to have them, and I'll look at his pictures all through the day, because I feel that loss when I'm gone. I really enjoy having my parents watch him from time to time, but like within a few hours, I do miss him. Like, there's just so many of those connection moments that you're like, oh, I didn't get to do bedtime tonight, or he didn't come up and wake me up, even though when he's doing it, I'm like, oh, why are you waking me up? Go back to sleep, you silly boy, right? But we miss that when we become used to it. So watch in the description below. I'll have some links for these tools for you guys. Please, I ordered my book from Amazon, but I'm pretty sure you can get it at Barnes & Noble's. And her books are not like super expensive. But there's more songs in here. Like way more songs than this little deck of cards. So you'd find ones you know and you like. So remember, when we're using songs, we're building our kids' literacy skills as well. That boosts just our brain potential to grow and retain information that we're getting. And it's going to increase like the intention and attention between you and your child and reduce some power struggles. Because remember, these are often for like those transitions that are difficult. Bedtime like now is not difficult for me, but it was really difficult from about birth to about 3 years old. So in each stage of his development, it changed what was difficult about it. So having these things makes it easier. And it gives you firm things that you can do so that they're cued, right? So they're cued to know, okay, now it's time for me to lay my head down to sleep. And if you have to keep going back in, you might need to do the I love you ritual a few times. And every parent's tolerance for what bedtime looks like is different. But this is just another tool for you to use. So drop-offs, separations, transitioning to bed to wake up, nap times, you know, any of the things that like are a struggle, please think about these. Practice a sing a song, say, right? Create some motions so you can have some connection. Make sure you're making eye contact and just really being there with your kids. These only take 3 minutes, no longer, right? If you want them to be longer, that's okay too. Just enjoy your kids, love them, show them that they're loved, and you will get so much out of these I love you rituals as well. So I hope you guys got a lot of info today that you maybe didn't already know, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe for upcoming video notifications. Thanks, guys.